Hey guys, it's Wolf. So my video about buying a Wii U has been doing pretty well lately, like comparatively to other videos on the channel. So I figured people seem to like that, and I also bought a PlayStation Classic lately. So I figured, hey, I'll make a video about that too. So right now in front of you, this is the manual that comes with it. This is just out right now because I keep forgetting to put it back into the box. But yeah, it tells you pretty much just how the PlayStation Classic works and stuff. I mean, there's not really much to it, but yeah. So I've actually already taken everything kind of out of the box because the PlayStation Classic comes in 3 boxes inside of each other, which is a little bit weird. But the first one, the outer one, is this one. I'm laying all this stuff on my bed because it's like the biggest place that I have to put anything. Sorry if it's kind of like wrinkled bed sheets and stuff, but yeah, so this is a box. It's not really fully fitting into frame, but you guys can kind of get the gist of it. I bought this for $20. GameStop was having a sale on it, so I actually just went to GameStop after class one day and got it because it was like, I've seen them for $20 before, and like it seems to be the cheapest they tend to go, so I was kind of waiting for them to go on sale again because I knew I wanted one. But yeah, it looks a lot like the original PlayStation's box, and it kind of shows you a console and the controller and everything. Apparently this has a rating, which I guess makes sense for it to be rated M because, you know, you have like Resident Evil and stuff on the console. But yeah, USB adapter not included, which is kind of interesting, and I'll get to that point later on. But yeah, sorry, it's a little out of focus, but I'm not really gonna focus it. But on the side, shows you some games and stuff. On the back, it shows you, I believe, all of the games. Maybe not all of them, but most. No, I think that is all of them. And then some more stuff on the side actually gives you, sorry, like I said, it's out of focus, but I don't really want to deal with focusing the camera, but shows you what it comes with and everything. So then on to the second box. You open that box, and then you find yourself with this box. This box is just a simple PlayStation logo box. Everything's inside of there. There's not really much else on it, except for, I guess, like a copyright notice on the back there. But then the third box is where things finally start getting interesting. So this is the box that the PlayStation Classic actually comes in. As you guys can see, it's really small. Yeah, so it's a pretty accurate. Like, I was actually surprised with how much it looked like an original PlayStation, because I mean, I never had one technically, but my dad has one, so like I know what they look like and everything. But yeah, it's pretty tiny, but it looks like a pretty good replica. Also, the buttons, they don't feel exactly like original PlayStation buttons, but they definitely feel like nice to press. So yeah, that comes in plastic wrap, and then you open that up like this, and then you can yank this part out, kind of, or just you can pull it out fully, or you can just kind of, there we go. And then inside you'll see you have 2 controllers, both with wires. They're not analog sticks, which is kind of weird, but I mean, like, the original PlayStation's controllers didn't have analog sticks, so, you know. And then an HDMI cord, but I still have that fully inside of the thing because I have an HDMI cord already plugged in my TV. And then over here is the USB cable that plugs into your charger thing, whatever you use to power it. Also, this reminds me, the cables, they connect via USB, and on the end there you guys can see it's got a little like thing to look like an original PlayStation controller's connector. But yeah, so that's everything that comes in the box. Now, like I said, there is no AC adapter included with this, but I ended up just using my old cell phone's charger, and that works fine. And I think that it really seems to be able to be powered off of like any USB port. I'm sure it really doesn't take that much power up. But yeah, so now I'll go ahead, and if it will work through the Elgato, I don't know how HDCP might cooperate with this thing, but I'm gonna go run it through the Elgato and show you guys like what it actually looks like on game screen stuff, because I never did that in the Wii U video, but I'm gonna do that this time. One of my favorite things about the PlayStation Classic has got to be that they did like a remastered version of the PlayStation splash screen and like made it, you know, full screen and HD and everything. But yeah, so now we're actually in the actual console, and as you guys can see here, let's just go ahead and actually, hang on, let me mute my TV real quick. Go ahead and scroll through the games so you guys can see all the games that there are. I started out on Grand Theft Auto 5, and as you guys can see down in the bottom right, you have a little memory card and a little screen, and some of my games have something in the screen, and that means that I have like a save spot in there. So you have resume points, so if you exit out of a game, which you do by hitting the reset button on the console itself, if you exit out of a game, it kind of like saves it there for you, and even when you turn the console off and on again, you can resume from where you started. So like in Grand Theft Auto, the original Grand Theft Auto, you guys can see that like if I were to jump into it from there, it would just let me hop right back in. You also have virtual memory cards, guides, which I don't really remember if that actually did anything in settings. I don't really think it does a whole lot either. You can just kind of do some very basic settings stuff. Now, the thing that gets me with the PlayStation Classic, and I'm actually going to go ahead and jump into Ridge Racer as I talk about this, because this is one of the games I've been having a lot of fun with. Oh shoot, I should have jumped in through a save point thing and shown you guys that, but something that I've heard a lot of like hate for with the PlayStation Classic is all the stuff about people like saying that it's nothing, it's not like playing the game on original hardware and stuff, and like, obviously, no, it's not. It's not like the perfect prime reproduction of a PlayStation 1 and everything. But I've got to say, for $20 or even 40, I guess to some extent, it's not a bad deal. Like as you guys can see here with Ridge Racer, I'm just gonna do time attack. It runs fine. Like a lot of people were giving Sony crap. I'm just gonna kind of jump through here. Actually, let's pick a cool. There we go. That card looks cool. People were giving Sony a lot of crap, like saying like, oh, why did they choose to use the European versions of some games and stuff like that. Like I get that European versions of games only ran at 50 frames per second and like not as fast as American versions, and why would you release the European versions on the American version of the console? And I understand those complaints, but I feel like people were just being way too picky about it, and especially people's like assumptions, I guess, or whatever you want to consider them, were kind of proven wrong once people started doing hacking with the PlayStation Classic and kind of showing its like actual potential, because it can really emulate almost like any game, sort of like a NES Classic or SNES Classic. Wow, this car is slippery. But the thing is, I haven't modified this at all, and I still have like a really fun time with it, because something like this is really perfect for somebody like me. Like, I like to collect games, and, if I had the opportunity or whatever, I would probably play this on actual hardware, I guess. But being at college and stuff, I obviously can't bring my entire gaming collection with me everywhere I go, and I feel like a lot of people are in that same state. If you're a businessman or something, you can't bring, all of your video games with you anywhere. If you're a college student, you can't bring all that stuff with you anywhere. And so, like, it's not a bad console. There was just so much hate for it because it wasn't an actual exact reproduction of like PlayStation 1 capabilities, but I don't think that it really needs to be for you to have fun with it. I mean, I've already had a couple days here at college where I like get back from class and I finish my homework and I'm like, man, kind of want to play some Ridge Racer, so I just take this out and plug it in and I play some Ridge Racer. And I mean, as you guys can see, like me playing Ridge Racer right now, the game doesn't play bad. It doesn't look like, I mean, it looks like a PlayStation 1 game, but it doesn't run slow. The sound isn't very messed up at all, if really noticeably. And, like, it's a cool little console. And I think that it got a lot of unjust hate. And alongside that, like, $20 for however many games is not bad. I mean, I know that there's people, oh, you can emulate games and stuff. But, like, not everybody wants to commit piracy, which I know that you can, like, use emulators legitimately if you rip the game yourself and everything, but most people, when they talk about emulators, aren't doing that. That's another thing to keep in mind. For $20, and I think it is still $20 at GameStop at the time of recording this video, you get 20 games. It's like $1 per game, and yeah, they're emulated, and you don't actually own a physical version of it and everything, but, like, I mean, I can't really complain for $20 to have a little box that lets me play Resident Evil and Ridge Racer and Grand Theft Auto and all that stuff. It's it's fun. And I feel like I'm kind of repeating almost what I said with the Wii U video, that there was a lot of unjust hate for the PlayStation Classic, just like there was with the Wii U. Although people have kind of started to come back around to both of them and realize, wow, this isn't as bad as we first thought. But also on top of that, this is also another thing that I bought from GameStop. And like GameStop gets a lot of hate, and like I said in the Wii U video, I can't attest to working there or anything like that. But like, yeah, it can be a little annoying to go into a GameStop sometimes, but also like you can't complain about going in there. Like the day I bought this, I had literally zero trouble going in there and buying this. I swung around after class. I went up to the counter and said, "Hey, I called earlier and asked about the PlayStation Classic thing and if that was an in-store deal, because I wasn't sure if it was an online-only thing." And the guy was just like, "Oh yeah," and just like immediately checked me out. Didn't even bother me about like pre-orders that much. He asked if I wanted to pre-order anything. I said no, and he was like, "Okay." And I got my PlayStation Classic and I went on my way. Like I just feel like some people with video games are really, really critical of stuff. When, like, what's the point? I went to GameStop. I mean, in one day, like in just like 20 minutes, I went into GameStop, and like including walking there, went to GameStop, said, "Hey, I want a PlayStation." Well, PlayStation Classic. Got a PlayStation Classic, and now I can play PS1 games while I'm at college without having to like deal with transporting an original PlayStation or anything and all the games for it. I guess this is kind of a review in some ways of the PlayStation Classic, and I think it's cool. I'm glad I bought it, and I don't really regret it at all. There was a lot of hate for it. Like I said, some of that has gone away, but I mean, I would recommend it, especially if you can get it at a price like $20. Also, real quick, let me just show you guys. I'm gonna reset that real quick. I want to show you guys. Yeah, sure. Delete. I haven't actually really played many games. I'll just show you guys though, like my Resident Evil thing. Show you guys how that save thing works. So I had actually just saved in Resident Evil using the memory card, but then you can hit the resume point, and then which is like right back into the game. Like I'm right back where I started, or not where I started, but right back the point I was in Resident Evil. I just started playing, which is like kind of cool. Like, I mean, you guys saw it took maybe 5 seconds to load me back into the exact same point in Resident Evil that I was in. It's pretty cool that it can do that, and especially in a game like Resident Evil where the saving was limited and everything. Don't want to overwrite that, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, but thanks for watching. PlayStation Classic, definitely a thing to check out. And like not necessarily avoid based on the original negative reviews that it got. So anyway, thanks for watching, I guess, and I'll see you guys in future videos, and bye-bye.